Well, just had my first failure gluing up today. Uh, yeah, the chibi failed already. Um, we didn't even get to string it up. So it's failed. We're going to move on to part two on that series already. This is still going to be part one of this series, the Spalted Maple Les Paul. And we're glued up. We have the neck mounted, and we're going to release these clamps and see how we did. That really looks good. Wow, does that look good? That looks really, really, really good. And we got a little mark there we'll sand out. Body is pretty well sanded. The top is sanded to 800. Very smooth. And I'm not going to use any grain filler on this at all. But that's it. Look at that. Now look at that neck. That came out gorgeous. That is glued in there nicely. No gaps. No wonkiness. And it is strong. Wow. It's not even flexing. This is going to be a beautiful guitar. I've got some really nice stain for this. I've got a transparent red stain for the front that we're going to hand rub in. And then the back of the neck and the back of the neck and the sides and the back of the body are going to be a black, transparent black stain. And then we're going to tongue oil the whole thing. There's going to be no spray gloss involved in on this. It's going to be very satiny. It's going to be all tongue oil. And I'm still thinking about doing gold hardware on this. Gold hardware might be really nice on this. I want to see how the red turns out. Sometimes red and chrome look really good. I do believe I'm going to want to do cream plastics and cream switch tip because I think the red and the cream will go nicer than red and black because the guitar itself is going to be red and black. I think we're going to want the cream binding and the cream plastics to offset that. This is looking really nice. This is looking really nice. Just a little bit of squeeze out right here, which we'll take off. But man, this is really nice. This is really nice. Next up for this is going to be stain. That'll be next. That's not a good thing. That's not good when you put your towels out of reach, is it? Not good when we put your towels out of reach. I sanded this down to 800 grit. It was very smooth. So the stain is going on immensely smooth. It's not like gripping into grains or anything. It's I did not use any sanding sealer or grain filler on this because I wanted that grain to pop as much as it humanly possible. And here it is. It's really popping. Couple little spots. And we want a little darker. A little more. Right there. It's coming out very nice. Imagine this with about 3 coats of tung oil on top of it. How about that? How about that? That is looking amazing. I cannot express my happiness here. I cannot. That's amazing. That is an amazing finish. Glossed up with a little tung oil, that nice satin finish. That's going to be amazing. This is going to be absolutely freaking incredible guitar. Yeah, I'm thinking definitely gold hardware. What do you guys think? I'm thinking definitely gold hardware. I'm definitely thinking gold hardware with this, guys. Wow. Okay, guys. Last time you saw me working on this, you saw me stain it and put this red stain on it. And this red cherry stain is really gorgeous. But what happens when you put stain on, sometimes your grain lifts a little bit, especially with me not using grain filler. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sand this down a little bit. 600 grit. This is 600 grit paper. 600. Where is it? There it is. 600 grit paper. And we're just gonna go over this just to get some of the scuffiness out of it. Just to make sure we're nice and smooth. We want this to be nice and smooth. Especially right here, there's a lot of open grain here that got filled in. Now we're not using a gloss finish on this. We're going to tongue oil this once we're done. So we're just going to go over this one more time. I think we're going to go over it one more time with some watered down red dye, red stain. And we're just going to go over it one more time after we're done sanding. I think this is just... I think it's just more my personal preference. It's my comfort zone here. And you can see, like, we're getting the top of the binding cleaned off as well. So we won't have to go around with a razor blade and scrape it all off. Using the 600, it's just enough to take the bit that's on the top of the binding. So we're going to keep going on here. We're going to keep going on to this. And then later on today, we might do the transparent black on the back and the neck. The back and the sides on the neck. See, this is just perfect, getting the top of the binding cleaned off. And I'm leaving it taped up because I do not want to, if I do go and darken this up a little more with some second coat of watered down red stain, I don't want to get into the binding and stuff on the sides and the back and get all into that. But this is working out perfectly right now. We just want to get it off of the... We want to sand it just a little bit, get it off the edge of the binding, so we don't have to scrape the binding. And you can see when we're going over the edges, we're starting to open up a little green. So I think we're going to have to go over this one more time. One more time. Just to... I think we're going to darken it up just a little, because I got a feeling once we tongue oil this, it might get to a pink hue, and I do not want that. I do not want a pink spalted maple guitar. No, I do not. I want this thing to be striking, especially since we're going to order all gold hardware for it. I know, I've been playing with gold a lot lately. In fact, the strap build that I'm going to be starting here very shortly is a relic. And we're doing a white relic with a red tortoise pickguard. And it is also going to have gold hardware. So yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I'm turning into gold member here. I do have some Dutch in me. think I'm more like Dr. Zayas right now. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Get your filthy paws off me, you damn dirty ape. Yeah. This is just looking absolutely phenomenal. This is, oh my God, this is gorgeous. There are spots that make me think that maybe I should have filled it. I should have put grain filler on it. But I don't. There's another spot there. So here, and here, and maybe a little up here. But I think this thing is going to, being a satin finish, I think that is going to be character, not a flaw. We'll find out. I mean, this is only my second full build from wood. The second build that I've done from nothing but a block of wood. So I'm learning. And if I mess up, you guys that are more luthier than I am, will tell me, okay, Butch, you messed up. And I know for damn sure that you will. And, but you know what? Hey, I'm learning. I think I'm doing pretty well here. This is looking really good. I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to come back. And, I think we're going to do another coat. Okay? Come back. Okay, guys, I have stripped the masking tape off the binding, and discovered that my frog tape is not so good. So we are scraping the binding, and I want to show you how to. I just got a regular Home Depot style razor blade. You know, you get the packs, they're a couple bucks, and you just take the edge of your blade and go right across where your masking tape bled, and you just want to scrape it a little bit. And you see we are removing some of the binding. Yes, we are. But you know what? This is new binding, and maybe it needs to be scraped down a little bit to make it more even with the body. So we're not doing anything wrong here. We're just getting the red off of the binding. This one seems to be in a little hollow, so we need to scrape it a little better. And here we go. Take our cloth and just wipe her down, and you see it's all nice and clean now. And I'm just going to go right along the edge where I was sanding before with that 600 grit paper, and we're just going right along the edge, and we're scraping it off. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Come down here, scrape a little down here, and we flip it up on its side here, and we'll go down along this way. Make sure we get off anything we've got on. We've got a bunch around this side. That frog tape was really bleeding here, so we want to get it all off. And I've applied a little naphtha to the top, just to see, you know, the naphtha will allow us to see what we're doing and see how our finish is coming on. And when we applied a little naphtha to the top, it's it really darkened up. It's kind of striking. So I'm going to leave it there. We're not gonna do another coat. I think the tung oil is going to really darken this up and really bring it out. It's just that spot. That's that one little spot. Doesn't want to come out. You see that spot? See that spot? It doesn't want to come out. There we go. Almost completely out now. And there's a spot here where I got some stain past the tape onto the body. We're going to have to sand that out. We'll hit that with a little 220 and a little 600. And that'll come out nice. This is coming out beautiful. I cannot wait to start applying the tung oil. We're going to do probably 3 coats of tung oil. We're going to give it a nice satin finish. And then we'll order some gold hardware for this thing. I might get impatient and put it together with the chrome hardware that I already have. Just to get it together. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm going to continue on scraping the binding. And then I'll come back when we're getting ready to do the sides and the back. Okay, guys. I've retaped the binding all up and down the neck and around the body on the Spalted Paul. I've switched back to the 3M blue tape because the frog tape clearly bled. But I did use the frog tape on the front of the neck because I have the 3M tape on the other side. I've watered down some of the black stain. I've watered it down. We're not using it full strength. And we're going to use a couple old paper towels here. We're going to rub the hell out of this. Because it seems to be the more vigorous you rub, the deeper you're getting into your grains. Especially when we're not using a grain filler. This is very tight mahogany. So it's not going to take a lot of rubbing. But this should come out freaking amazing. That is some really nice. This is going to take more than one coat, obviously. This is transparent black. I'm getting my hands all covered because apparently I'm not very good at arts and crafts. But this is starting to look very nice. You know what? I'm going to try something different here. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Obviously the watered down not working for me. So what we're going to do, we're going to go full strength with the transparent black wood stain. Because it is water-based, but of course I'm ripping the towels. And maybe I did a little too much with the water. So let's go full strength and see how this comes out. Yes. Much better. Much better. Much better. Yes, look at this. Look at that. That is coming out amazing. That is coming out amazing. Very nice. You can really see the figure in the mahogany. It's coming out very nice. This is going to be very nice. This guitar is going to be the probably pinnacle of my guitar repair and building career at this point. It's just, like I said, the second one I made from wood. You've seen in some of the other videos the red Firebird that I did right before I lost my leg and became one-legged luthier. I wasn't happy with it, and I ended up making it something that I enjoy, but I would never sell to anybody because it's got too many flaws in it. The neck is too chunky. The neck angle isn't completely correct. So, like, but it is a great guitar right now. I did make it work and play, and it sounds really good, and I would just never sell it to anybody. It's my personal guitar, and that's the way it's going to stay. But this is being made, and we're gonna sell this one. But I'm not taking BS money for it. I'll tell you that right up front. This thing's going to be at least $1,000. At least. Especially the time and the effort that I put into it, it's going to be at least $1,000. Let's do some of the sides. Let's do the sides. And we might have to be scraping the binding a little more. You know, we might get some black onto this binding, but hey, if I do, I do. It's just another step you'll get to watch. We're not getting a lot. There must have been some router chatter or something here that I didn't get sanded correctly. Because this finish is skipping across it right here. So we're going to have to rub a little extra hard. Rub a little extra hard. Yeah, we need a little more right there. think we're going to let you guys go. And I'll be back when I'm done. And we'll show you the finished product of the staining episode. Be back. Okay, guys. Pause the Gorilla Guitar Repair. As you can see, my fingers are covered. I did not get a passing grade in arts and crafts. But here we are. We've got the black, transparent black stain on it, and it is looking fantastic. And I can't be happier with this thing. It's when we put the Tung Oil on this, it's going to give it such a beautiful shine, like a satiny sheen to it, and it's going to darken all this up. It's going to darken the red up. It's going to look fantastic. This guitar is primo. And but here we are. We're going to let this dry. We're going to attempt to re-glue the chibi, just so we can get it ready to put splines on the neck. So that's going to be next on the bench today. This is going to dry. We'll see you in a bit. All right, here we are. We've got the Black Beauty chibi all glued up. So what we're doing now is we're applying a coat of Tung Oil to the back of the Spalted Les Paul build. This is a Kume mahogany. It's Japanese mahogany. And what we're doing is just putting a little bit of oil on the cloth, and we're wiping it into the mahogany. And I've stained this with a water-based transparent black wood stain. It's not necessarily the color tone. It's an Amazon brand, so it's not the StuMac color tone stuff. I'm kind of questioning myself. Maybe I did do the wrong thing on that respect, but it is coming out pretty nice. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do the back and the sides and the neck here with the Tung Oil. And we're going to let this sit, because you need to let it sit for 12 to 24 hours between coats. So we already have a pretty nice coat on the front of the body on the Spalted Maple. And that is pretty well dry, so that's why I feel comfortable enough in letting it sit on the face right now. And because it was done yesterday. And this is the back and the sides and the back of the neck, and this is going to sit here and cure. And I love the satin finish it leaves, and I think it's even going to get better with additional coats. But right now we're just rubbing this in, so to make sure there's no puddling, no pooling. There's some glossy spots here I want to get over, but we got it pretty well. There's our Tung Oil on the back and sides, and get it off my thumb. I did glue my thumb because it was bleeding and it wouldn't stop bleeding. So there we go. We've got the Tung Oil applied on the back and the sides of the guitar, and it's just stuff I got at Walmart. Walrus brand, Walrus oil, pure Tung Oil. It's for wood, just for wood finishing. And there we go. Oh, That was stupid. Let's get that back in the rest. And yeah, we got to put some parts away. But here we are. It's looking very nice. And I'm not complaining. My shirt touched it. I'm going to do it right there. We even got some tung oil on my bench because we spilled a little bit. And it's making a nice shine on the old bench. This is looking very nice. This is coming out incredible. It's not as deep a red as I want for the front, but I think it'll show off some of the spalted figuring. I'm really liking the headstock design right now. It's certainly working. Not bad for what we had to work with, which was an old guitar slide and some 80 grit sandpaper. So here we are. I've scraped the binding, as you see. The binding is looking pretty nice. And I think a couple more coats of tongue. And we're going to be ready to start assembling this beast. Okay, guys. Friday morning. I just did my intro video for Facebook. And I've been doing some sanding on the Spalted Paul here. I got a couple pieces of grain in here that I didn't like. Like I said, I did not fill this with grain filler or pore filler or anything like that. I just stained it. And I have stain and oil that is not reacting with this spalted maple. And I got a couple sanding marks in here too, so I want to take these out. But we are taking the finish back off of the Paul. But what we're doing is getting this dead smooth. This guitar is going to be very much a showpiece. And I want it to be perfect. So I'm not just going to settle for what I had. I'm going to strive further. And if that means we got to restain it and rescrape the binding and all that, then so be it. So what we're doing is the video today is probably going to have this part in it. But the video today is where we started staining this, and you can see where the red is coming through, but it's not, it faded to this salmon hue, and I don't like it. I want it darker. So I'm probably going to put this in the video today, but you can see that this stain just did not react to this spalted maple very well. It's still got, you can see it's still got, this is a week later, and it's still not completely cured. This is not good. So we're going to sand most of this off. And, you know, I'm not going to make a video sitting here, you're going to sit here and watch me sand for an hour. So I'm just going to keep going, but I wanted to document this. I wanted to document it for you guys and show that, hey, you know, this is a learning experience and we're on this journey together. So, like, yeah, you know, we're gonna mess up. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have to re-glue a headstock. We're gonna have to make splines where we didn't have to before. Yeah. So part 2 of the Can We Fix the Chibi series is coming up with the splines and how to make splines without having a router and a spline jig. And I did it with a belt sander and maple dowels, and it works. So the black chibi has been strung up now for a couple days, and it is still in tune, so the head is not moving. I think we fixed it. I played it a few times. I did some headstock bends like Jared James Nichols or Jakey Lee, and pulled on the headstock and made the tone go down and come back, and it comes back into pitch. It doesn't. It didn't. If it didn't come back into pitch, it was the headstock is moving. Well, the headstock ain't moving, so I think we fixed it. And so I think part 3 of that video is going to be starting to modify it, put different pickups in it, different electronics, and do some fret dressing and stuff like that. So here we are. We're sanding, and I'm going to keep sanding, and that's going to be my morning mission. And because that's pretty smooth right now, but you can still see where right here, that's gummy. Where that just. So what this salmon coat is going to represent that's going to be basically the grain filler and the pore filler. And we're going to sand most of it back off, and then we're going to restain it. So I'll come back when I'm sanded before we restain, and we'll show you what's going on. Okay, my phone decided to not record that I was staining, but we've restained the top. We've used the vintage cherry, and then we've used a little black on top, the black that we use on the back and the sides. We put some black over the top of that, and then we went over with another coat of the vintage cherry. And this is what we're coming up with. There's a spot right here that there was a little knot in that I kept sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding. And for some reason, that's not really taking any stain. So I'm going to leave that little spot and this little section as a lighter section of the guitar. We're going to leave it more of a natural. It's going to look pretty rustic on the front with the spalted maple anyway. But this is going to look how much darker we got. It's not that salmon color anymore. Neither are my hands. It's not that salmon color anymore. It's got this maroonish, dark red appeal, except for the salmon right here. So I kind of dig in it. And the black back and sides, we're going to go over one more time. And then the headstock, obviously, we're going to do gloss black. The headstock's going to be gloss black with my Fat Cat logo on it and cleared over, very high gloss. The rest of the guitar is going to be a satin. And this thing, it's amazing. Look at the fretwork on this thing. Gigantic, proper sausages for frets. I mean, gigantic jumbo frets. And they're stainless steel. And this was a decent neck bite. This was a bought neck. And then the body we had shaped, and I carved the top and everything. This was wood at one point. This was square blocks I bought off Amazon. It's been cut with a CNC machine, yes. My friend has a CNC machine, and he cut it out for me. I shaped the top with a belt sander and my hands. And it's not a huge arch top, but it's pretty archy. And I got some naphtha in this rag. Maybe it'll take some of this stain off my hands. No. So we're gonna have to. It's a water-based stain. We can scrub it off when we go in the kitchen and wash up. But whatever you do, don't put your naphtha soap rags in the garbage. The water-based stain, you're okay, but not the naphtha. Naphtha is basically refined lighter fluid, so you really don't want to put naphtha rags in your garbage, because then you might have spontaneous combustion and whatnot. Just like if you're working in a garage, you don't use solvents and stuff and throw the rags away, because then you get fires. But as this dries out, you can see some of the salmon coming back, but look at the darkness that we're getting along the edges and stuff. I'm kind of liking this. I'm not going to go for the tung oil finish on this anymore. I really don't like working with it. We're going to go with a standard satin, probably a 2K satin, and then a high gloss on the headstock with the gold foil Fat Cat logo. And I think we're going to use gold hardware. I got a real nice gold humbucker here, and I got another gold humbucker we're going to put in there that we're going to have to wax pot. And that's our new venture. We're going to be wax potting some of these old Chinese pickups we have and making them work better. And I think we're going to go gold hardware on this. Gold humbuckers, gold hardware, gold tuners. I haven't bought any hardware for it yet because I really didn't understand what I was going to do. But I think that's what we're going to do. Get some gold Clusons, some gold Tone Pros. This guitar is going to be pretty beefy. I think the satin will darken it up a little bit. The salmon won't be sticking out as much. I'm kind of liking this as it's drying, and we're watching it right now. It's drying pretty quickly, and you can see some of the salmon coming out here and here, but the darkness is reigning supreme over the body. I think we might wait till this dries completely out, put another bit of black in here and rub it in, and another bit of cherry. Maybe try to match it to the rest of the body, but it's not taking finish very well. It's really not. The spalted maple is tough. What spalted maple is this wood has been soaking in a river for decades. And all this blackness in the grain is sediment from the river. So when you cut this, you smell like a dead body. It's got that smell to it. And when you work it, I've been working it and sanding it, it's got a gumminess to it because of the sediment in the grain. So I think that's what's blocking the stain from getting into it. The last time I did a spalted build was a Telecaster that my friend Kevin Locker has, and that was done with automotive candy and clear coat. So we didn't have any of these problems. Right now, I'm trying to rub stain into it, and it's not taking the stain. So I might get an automotive candy and spray over this. You never know. It's not as satisfying as I want it to be. It's not where I want it to be. I kind of dig in this rustic, dark, blotchy finish, but I'm not in a way either. I think a candy will make it look better. I don't know. We'll come back when I make up my freaking mind. Okay, here's the skinny. It's only 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and I've already reached my maximum point of aggravation. I am not going to finish working on the Spalted Paul today because that salmon color keeps coming back up. I think that stain is garbage. We're not going to be using that stain anymore. I'm going to stick with the StewMac True Color. And but for now, I'm going to go back to my original way of doing spalted maple, and that's with a candy automotive coat. So we're going to sand back that garbage salmon looking color, and I've ordered a red candy to come in, but I'm still going to satin finish the top. The only thing gloss going to be on this guitar is a headstock. So look for the Spalted Paul to come back, and we'll do the satin top, and we will do the cherry or the candy clear coat over the what we have already. I think the candy and the salmon will really darken that top up. I'm thinking, we're learning as we're going along here. We're learning that some stuff is just garbage and it doesn't work, especially Amazon stains. Don't get them. Don't get them. So that's where we're at with the Spalted Paul. We will be coming back. Next week will be part 2 of Can We Fix This Chivy? All right. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you next week.